basically what's going on. In this schematic, the black furler extrusions have separated by about an inch. The red is the forestay that runs up and down the extrusions. And the blue thing is the jib sail. And basically what's happened is the bolt rope has pulled out from the extrusion because of a lack of halyard tension when the head of the sail ripped, and now it's jammed in there. So to get the bolt rope back into the extrusion, I'm gonna have to re-establish the halyard tension on the ripped sail and lubricate the bolt rope with something like dish soap. Luckily the sail ripped on the webbing and there was enough left over that I could tie a double sheet bend with this blue line. Then I attached the blue line to the existing halyard and told Sam to tension it with a winch while I applied dish soap to the problem area. And voila! It slipped right back in and we were able to drop the sail to the deck. Fish. Down it goes. She's all yours, Sam. Whoa, oh my god, I'm spinning. That is so cool. Yeah, there he goes. Here I am. Okay, so here's what we had to do to get this down. Here, I'll take that. So this is a double sheet bend in what remains of the jib head. So here's where that nylon webbing tore. It tore from this side over here, tore right out. You can see it. It's all torn right here. And so this side was still sewn in. And that's what I've seen that happens with these sails, is that one side is exposed to the sun and the stitching on that side fails, but the other side is still pretty good. So double sheet bend here, up to a slip knot here, and I can actually pull this all the way to myself. Hey Sam, would you mind over there on the jib sheet where it goes through the fair lead? I think it formed an asshole.
Got stuck on a cleat.
Thank you, honey. Okay, so here we go. And then this is just a quick release. Bang, done. Okay, Sam, would you mind just cleating the jib halyard off? Done. Done? Okay, great. Now we can take this sail right off and sew it properly. Look at that. Almost went into the ocean. All right, so we got the jib inside, and I think that's enough for today. I think we owe it to ourselves to go swim with the sea lions and the sea turtles and get some of the stink off of us. What do you say, Sam? Well, that's a language the sea lions can understand.
Yeah.
All right, let's get out of here.
Oh, it's great. Mmm. Mmm. Crystal clear.
Yeah.
Hand me my fins in the GoPro. You can just toss the fins in the water. No, it's not. It's not cold.
So ever since we got the jib down, it's been my job to sew a new head into the sail. And we don't have a sailrite or any heavy-duty sewing machine, so I'm going to show you what that looks like. I've already done several stitches, and I'm actually on my last row of stitches for the head. And then I might have to repair the luff tape, and I'm not sure how I'm going to do that. But let me show you just the tools that I have to use in order to get this done. So I've got some nylon webbing that I've been sewing in, and this is going to form the actual head of the sail that I pull on with the halyard right here. And I've already got 2 stitches on this one, and now I'm working on the reverse side here. So last night I stopped right here, and I'm going to keep going all the way up. So in order to get through, you know, this much material right here, it's really thick, I actually have to use a couple tools. So I've got my speedy stitch with a regular Singer machine needle in it. I've tied a knot in the line that was already in the piece that I was working in to the speedy stitch, and I've got the tailing end of that line over here attached to a needle, and this is just for ease of threading it through the speedy stitch. Now over on this side I've got my hammer, my vice grips, and a broken sailmaker's needle. So you can see this end is banged up because I hammer on that end, and this is what I use to make the new hole where the speedy stitch is going to go. So these stay over here. This is just to help me out to grab line and stuff like that. But for the most part, I'm actually ready. So let's put a couple more stitches in this piece. So I've just flipped the workpiece over. I hadn't realized that yesterday I stopped in a mid-stitch and broke the needle on the wrong side. So now I've just pulled the line through, and we're going to keep doing this zigzag pattern right here along this edge. So let's get to it. Alright, I finished stitching the attachment for the halyard here at the head of the sail, and now I'm just drawing my attention here to the luff tape. I've actually got this little problem here. Let me move this nylon strip aside. Here's my bolt rope for the sail, and here's what remains of the luff tape. I've only got one side of the tape remaining. This side has been destroyed by UV radiation and has come apart. So I'm just taking this nylon strip here, and I'm going to make an attachment to the bolt rope. You can kind of see my stitches right there, and I'm just going to keep attaching this nylon strip all the way up the remainder of this bolt rope, and then probably make some stitches on this side here through the sail. That way when they pull apart, you know, there's going to be some tensile strength there thanks to this nylon webbing. So that's the last thing I have to do to this sail before it goes and gets hoisted up on the rolling furler. Okay, so the last piece of maintenance that we have to accomplish here in Bahia, Asuncion, is checking on the transmission. So we have already reattached the jib to the halyard and hoisted it, and it's rolled up on the furler nice and neat. So we've had a very slow leak ever since I rebuilt it and put new seals and sleeves on the output shaft, and I just need to check and see where the leak is coming from, if it's coming from the case or if it's coming from those new seals that I installed. So I've already gone ahead and pulled the transmission out of the boat. So there's the diesel and our house bank battery, and the transmission is hanging right here. So I've gone ahead and suspended it on this string here just so that I could look at it without it flailing around the boat. And the problem area is right there. So let me go ahead and change lenses here. There's a small weep of transmission fluid coming right here between the seal and the new shaft sleeve. And I think the reason for that is that that sleeve is not perfectly concentric. As I spin this around, there's one area that is further from the center than the rest. And let's see. My eyes tell me it's right there. Now I don't have a dial gauge, but I think that this part right here is bulged. And that is what's causing premature wear of that seal. Now that's the rear output shaft seal. This is the front one, and the front one looks just fine. Here, I'll get that little pick. The front seal occurs right there, and that is all fine. The flange nut that I took off and reinstalled, that looks okay. So almost everything on this transmission looks fine except that one seal right there, and that is unfortunately the lowest part in the whole transmission. So if that continuously leaks, we'll eventually run out of fluid. But the leak has been pretty slow. We actually still have a lot of fluid in here. So I guess I'm just gonna slap it back in. I'm gonna keep putting some adsorbent pads under there so that we don't pollute the environment. And when this gets really bad, then I'll bust out the rebuild kit. I actually have a spare kit. I have 2 extra sleeves and 4 extra seals. So perhaps when we get somewhere more populated like La Paz, I'll pull the entire output shaft out and I'll take it to a machine shop and see if they can true that radius. But for now, this is the last thing holding us here in Asuncion. So that's going back in, and then we'll be ready to leave.